Hi everyone, it's Carol at Big Cat Rescue, and I thought you guys might enjoy watching the Texas Tigers go out on vacation. So if you're looking at the screen here, right on the right hand side, you'll see kind of a break in the way the wire looks. There's a tunnel right there, and be watching. The Tigers are going to be coming up to the tunnel and then running out onto vacation, which is always a lot of fun. Wait for it, wait for it. It's gonna be fun. There they go. I love watching them go out on vacation. They're always so happy, even though they were just on vacation. Hey, Destiny. Hey, Afton. It's tigers on vacation at Big Cat Rescue. If you're new to us, the vacation area is a 2.5 acre vacation rotation area. So all of our lions and tigers get to go on vacation in this area. And we're setting up the cougar cages so that the cougars Aries, Artemis, and Orion someday will be able to come through the tunnels and go on vacation. We haven't been able to set that up yet, but it's coming. So you will see cougars out here someday. And meanwhile, there's different lions and tigers every 2 weeks. The people that you see in the background is our 3 o'clock tour today. And so I didn't even realize at the time that we were letting the cats out that they were getting to see the cats having so much fun out there. The first thing the cats want to do when they go on vacation is pee all over everything to let all the other cats know that that's really their spot. Hey, Diane Herman and Crystal. I know I've missed you guys too. It's just been such a crazy couple of days. And thankfully Jamie's back, because she and I split a lot of the duties here when it comes to like moving tigers on vacation and things like that. Typically that's something that she does with Gail, and that frees me up to be able to do Facebook Live with you guys. Jamie's back from CITES in South Africa, but she's trying to catch up on all of the work that piled up while she was gone. So unfortunately I wasn't able to do much out there live today. Lauren, I was late for my own staff meeting again today. There's a serious problem. I've done that twice now, and almost 3 times. But they phoned me in. I was on my bike on the way in, and they let me call in so that I could hear everybody's report. And I got in probably about a quarter of the way into the staff meeting. The good thing about the people that we've hired here is that they don't need much managing. I'm not a good boss. I need to hire people that are so amazing. They just do what they're supposed to do and don't need a lot of direction. And so I'm very fortunate in that we can hire from our volunteer pool. So our volunteer program really helps me screen the people that we end up hiring, because we know who is going to be hardworking and able to work without a lot of oversight. Anya, this is Andre, Arthur, and Amanda, again, out on vacation. And I can't tell you guys much about it. Is that my phone I'm seeing? I can't tell you guys much about it, but we're in the process of bringing in probably 12 more cats. And so it's been crazy out there trying to get everything ready for those cats. And some of the cats that are coming in are tigers. And so the only places that we have that are really tiger ready are right there where these tigers live. So they're getting to go out on vacation again, because there's going to be the media here to do a big Halloween thing. And so it was easier to just go ahead and move them today, even though tomorrow would be the regular moving day. And then they might actually have to stay out there for the next month. They're going to love that. They will be so excited that they have to be on vacation for a full month. And maybe it won't be that long. It just depends on how long it takes us to get a lot of the modifications done. Back when the sanctuary started, back in the 90s, we started with the rescue of 3 fur farm groups. So there were 56 bobcats and lynx, and then there were 28 bobcats and lynx, and then there were 22 bobcats and lynx that came in over a 3-year period. So we built all of our original cages for little cats, and we've added bigger cat cages along the way, but our big cat spaces are full. So what's happening is all of those cats that we rescued back in the 90s are now in their 20s, and they're dying of old age. And so as they die, the good news is that there are not many people who are trading in bobcats and servals and caracals anymore, so there's not a lot of them that end up needing to be rescued. And the calls we do get, unfortunately, are for lions and tigers. So what we're having to do is go through and modify our cages so that the doors are bigger and the feeding boxes are bigger and the tunnels to go from one cage to another are bigger and the guillotine doors are bigger, and so it's just all of that has to be done. And then the dens that we had for the smaller cats, we've got great dens for bobcats and servals and caracals that are, I mean, they're like 8 feet by 10 feet inside and covered in dirt, so it's a nice big hill and it's nice and natural and everything, but the doors are so small and the inside is so small that tigers can't use them. So we're having to build more dens all over the place, and this is all an expense we were not expecting right now. We have been fundraising and trying to build our bobcat rehab expansion program, and thanks to you guys, I just read that we've raised like $169,000 towards that. So that's fabulous news. But and it needs to get done because bobcats continue to get hit by cars. But these 12 cats have to come in too, so any help you can give would be certainly appreciated. There's plenty of ways to donate over at bigcatrescue.org/donate. And if you would, please share this post with your friends and family. It helps us reach people that we might not otherwise reach, and they'll get to see this cool stuff of tigers swimming. I mean, where can you go and see tigers swimming? So you're sharing something that they should really like if they love cats. I just love that. I love seeing them swim. They are funny, aren't they? Oh, Clarence is saying it's all broken up and he can't hear. Is anybody else having trouble hearing me? Jacqueline, they are definitely marking everything. Ooh, I missed a whole bunch of comments here. Excuse me while I go looking. Hello, Barbara. Frank. Hey, Anne from Canada. Destiny, these three are siblings. They live together. They're fixed so that they don't have any babies, but they've lived together their whole lives. And anytime we have cats who can live together, who have lived together since they were cubs, that's great. It gives them somebody to play with and somebody to fuss with. But, and I said fuss, F-U-S-S. But at feeding time, we have to be able to separate them. So even in cases like this, where they really love each other, they will fight practically to the death over food. So we can't let them have food anywhere near each other. Well, thank you, Nancy Calvert. I'm glad that our videos make your day brighter. And Sherry, I agree. I think these are beautiful grounds for the cats. They don't belong in cages, and you can help us end that at bigcatact.com. And that's a federal bill that would ban the private possession of these cats so that there won't be cats who need to be rescued, which would be the happiest day of my life if we never had to go rescue some poor cat from some horrible situation again. So please help us at bigcatact.com. Hey, Barbara from Texas, and Faith from Troy. Hugs to you, Eileen from Pennsylvania. Michelle, I love those tigers too. Chris, I was in trouble for being late. You know, my husband also attends the staff meetings, and so of course he was giving me a hard time about it. Renee, I'm not outside because I couldn't be filming this at the time that it was happening. This is running about, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes lag behind what's really happening out there, because I had the explore.org cams were recording, and so I was able to run inside and turn it on, and that way I can answer your questions here and you guys can enjoy the cats. Nicola, I am doing just fine. Hi, Dale Sullivan. Catherine, thank you for joining for the first time. This is the vacation rotation area, and we have somewhere close to 70 cats. I'm losing track now. somewhere close to 70 lions, tigers, leopards, bobcats, and they all have large enclosures. Their enclosures range from 1,200 square feet for a bobcat up to half an acre for some of the tigers. And this is a 2.5 acre enclosure where they get a vacation. So the big cats, lions, and tigers can come out here for 2 weeks at a time, either by themselves if they live by themselves, or with their cage mates if they have cage mates. And if they have cage mates, they're all fixed. We don't do any breeding here. And they can enjoy this area for 2 weeks. And it just gives them something different to do, new things to smell and pee on. God knows they love to pee on stuff. Hi, Jennifer Leon. Thank you, Helen. Karen Hoover, the tiger from Peru, is doing just fine. I told Jamie I really want to neuter him. When he came, he was so skinny we didn't want to do anything to him right away, and he lives by himself, so there's no chance of him getting anybody pregnant. But he's just calling and pacing and calling and pacing, and I think if he were neutered, he'd quit thinking about girls, and he might fatten up a little bit and be a little bit more chill. So I think that's what we're going to do. In J.R. Williams, we do work with a lot of other sanctuaries. I'm going to be talking at a sanctuary conference that's coming up. And just today, one of our donors does this thing where you can donate gift cards to us. So like if you have a Starbucks card in your pocket and you've used half of it, but you haven't used the other half, and you're thinking, I never want to drink coffee again, you can just go online, and there's a link on our website where you can just plug in the information, and Big Cat Rescue gets the money from the card. How cool is that? So we made like $800 off of that just by setting up a box and a sign saying, hey, give us your old used gift cards. Not completely used. There has to be some money value left on them. But as soon as we heard about that, we shared that with all the sanctuaries that we know, because that's a great way for people to raise money and doesn't cost them anything. And people, I know I had a whole bunch of them in my purse that I donated as soon as I found out about that. Also, not just with sanctuaries, but we share it with other organizations like Humane Society and those kinds of organizations as well. Karen, that's so cool that you saw Hoover swimming today. I have not seen that yet today. Cynthia, I'm so glad that you're coming to visit us. Diane Herman, it is any gift card. If you go to bigcatrescue.org, up at the top there's a button that says Get Involved. And on the Get Involved thing, there's a button, I think, that says Financially. And if you go there, look at them running around. They're having so much fun out there. There's a whole lot of ways that you can donate things and money. But then right below there is all the free ways that you can help. And it's listed as one of the free ways is to donate your gift card. And the link to that will be listed right there. It's also probably in our Facebook posts. Earlier in the day I had posted it, sharing that with other organizations, but at the bottom I said, and if you want to give Big Cat Rescue your card, go right here, and then so the link is in there. Catherine, I already thanked Afton for doing that live feed with Joseph this morning. I was so glad that she caught him roaring, because that is so cool to be able to see, and I'm glad that some of our other volunteers are getting brave about doing these Facebook live feeds. It's kind of weird walking around talking to your phone. I mean, we talk to our phones all the time, but when you're like pointing your phone out and just chatting away, it just seems strange until you get used to the idea. Helena, yes, we are building a lot of cages right now. We're building cages for the Bobcat Rehab Program, and we're also making a ton of modifications to our other cages so that we can take in these new cats. Iris, one of the problems they have with zooming in on a cat is that sometimes the cats leave. So, well, I was about to flip off to another page, but I see there's a tiger walking into the scene there again. So it's really hard for the camera operator to stay focused in on one cat, especially when there's 3 of them running around. And that's why sometimes they'll give you a wider view of the cats. I love these Explore Live webcams. Those are provided to us for free by explore.org. And they also provide people to man the cameras. So like as the cats do move around, they follow the cats. And there's 9 of those webcams here, so they're just constantly looking for any action of the cats. You can find all of those webcams at bigcatrescue.org/CAMS. CAMS. Why, thank you, Penny. This is Wirecast that I'm using. I heard about it from the dodo, and I thought, wow, that is really cool that I can actually talk to you guys and show you what's going on in the background, which is really neat. Beth, the new cats are not in the witness protection program, so as soon as they arrive, you guys will be able to hear about them. I just can't do anything right now because there's so much stuff in the air. We have applied for our permits, and we've actually been granted the permits, but until the cats are really on the road and headed here, I don't want to tell you there's cats coming and them not be coming. So that's why we're kind of like, I can't tell you all of the details yet. I know Jacqueline Spirit Feather, the little rehab bobcat, she is getting big, and she's just adorable. It's like every time I turn on the live webcams, I can hardly turn away from her because she's so cute. And more, you said that you would love to hold a baby, and of course all of us would love to hold baby animals. But what you might not be aware of, and maybe we're just kidding, but what you might not be aware of is how big a problem that is. Because as long as people will pay to touch baby lions and baby tigers, then there are people who will breed them, rip them away from their mothers, and use them for that purpose. And those people will lie to you and say, oh, the mother abandoned them, and it's for conservation, and they're going back to the wild, or they're going to some great sanctuary. And it's all a lie. They just do it because people will pay to pet those cubs. In fact, we do a giveaway every day. So today's giveaway is going to be $25 anything in our online store at bigcatrescue.biz, bigcatrescue.biz. And here's the rules. Rules are, if you won in the last 30 days, you can't play. It has to be the first person based on the Facebook timestamp in the comments that answers the question correctly. And unfortunately, what I see on my phone is not always the first person, so I'll call out as soon as I see that there has been an accurate answer. But then what I have to do is go back into Facebook and check the timestamps and make sure that I'm really getting the first person that said it, because I don't know if it's sending them to me as top comments instead of most recent comments on my phone or what, but that's the issue that I have. And as far as $25 anything in the gift shop, so what you can do is any item up to $25. Only pick one item though. Don't pick like $5 items, because that's going to drive our gift shop manager crazy. Just pick a $25 item or any item in the gift shop up to $25 for the first person to get the right answer. And today's question is going to be, there was a huge announcement that was in our updates about what TripAdvisor is doing. So TripAdvisor just announced that they are not going to allow the sale of tickets to certain types of animal encounters. In the comments, name the 3 animals that they specifically mentioned that they will not allow ticket sales to those kinds of animals being touched by the public. All right, I'm going to look and see who's first answering that. Cindy, I'm sorry that it keeps buffering and you can't hear. If there's any way you can get on a Wi-Fi connection, that might help. And you're close, but not quite. Karen, you got 1, but what I'm asking is, they named 3 kinds of animals that TripAdvisor is not going to let animal exploiters sell tickets to touch. There's other animals too, of course, but the 3 that they named in the press release today. Deborah, you're close. What are the other two? Christina Piper, it looks like you've got the first three: elephants, tigers, and dolphins. I'll go back and make sure that Christina Piper actually is the first person, but there is a correct answer already, so you guys don't need to guess anymore because we got a correct answer. So wasn't that amazing? TripAdvisor announced, because when you go to TripAdvisor, you can leave reviews about places that you've seen, but you can also buy tickets. So like you can go to TripAdvisor and you can look things to do in Tampa and you'll see Big Cat Rescue, and you can actually buy the tickets right there while you're on TripAdvisor. And what they're doing is they're saying no more are they allowing people to sell tickets to cub petting, dolphin swimming, or elephant riding. I couldn't believe it. I thought, when I told Jen, she just started crying. And we were just like, this is the most amazing news. And of course, we talked to all of our friends at HSUS and PETA and all of the organizations. And of course, PETA has been working on this, they said, for months behind the scenes. But it was just such a welcome relief that TripAdvisor, which is a place everybody goes when they're thinking about booking a trip, now they're not going to allow those exploitive industries to sell tickets to have people exploit the animals. And they're also going to, and some of this stuff won't happen until 2017, but they're going to have a little button on the site. So like, let's say you're going to one of those bad places and you're going to pet cubs, and you can read you can still read the reviews about them, but TripAdvisor is going to have a little paw print there. And when you click on the paw print, it's going to tell you all about why that's so bad to pet cubs or to ride elephants or to swim with dolphins. So it's like, it's like I woke up in some alternative universe today where people actually care about animals and are educating people about how cruel that is. So I'm beyond thrilled. I think that's going to be a huge, huge help, because I think most of the people who book those kinds of things don't understand how abusive it is. They just don't know. They do it because they love animals. And when they find out how cruel this whole industry is of petting cubs, and how the only way they can do that is to speed breed the moms and take away the babies and bottle raise them so that they don't bond with their mothers, and then use them for cub petting, and then they end up in horrible situations. And so when people know that, they won't go out and spend their money on that, and that whole industry will dry up. So in addition to our federal bill that will make it illegal, I think it's going to be a huge educational opportunity for the world to learn why cub handling is so bad. Carol, thank you. I love the flowers too. My daughter gave me those a decade or better ago when we went to Hawaii. Thank you, Pam, for posting the update link. If you guys don't get those updates, you might want to go to bigcatrescue.org, and there's a little RSS thing where you can sign up to get those updates every day emailed to you, so that when I ask those questions in our Facebook Live feeds, that you will have the information necessary to get the right answer. Lori, it's called a hakule, and it is considered a way of celebrating life, which is certainly my life. I feel like every day, especially today, is a reason to celebrate. Laura, Bengal cats don't belong in the wild. They are a cross between a wild cat and a domestic cat, so they're not native to anywhere. But they make horrible house pets too. The first 4 generations do anyway, and they just spray bucket loads of urine all over everything. If you go to bigcatrescue.org/hybrid-facts, F-A-C-T-S, it'll explain all of that. I love hybrid cats. We have hybrid cats here who we've rescued, but I hate the breeding of hybrid cats because so many of the cats die in the process, and the first 4 generations almost never work out as pets, so people dump them, and then they end up being feral and creating a huge problem in the community because they're so much bigger and powerful and so much better hunters than domestic cats. or they end up being killed in shelters, and that's just not fair. They shouldn't be bred just because they're beautiful and then be discarded because they're such impossible pets. Yeah, Robin's right. Bengals shouldn't be bred to begin with. Sarah, I got up this morning and it was 69 degrees outside. I thought I was going to have to wear a coat as I rode my bicycle in this morning, but it was up to 74 by the time I actually got my butt on my bike. So I did it without a coat. We're such sissies here in the South. 74 degrees or 60 degrees or 70 degrees, and we're cracking out the winter wear. Kelly, I think anybody who poses with big cats or their cubs is adding to the problem. And we just came back from CITES. Jamie and Dr. Justin went to the Convention on Trade in Endangered Species in South Africa, and that meets every 3 years to discuss ways to protect, well, it's not so much about protecting animals, it's about the trade, but we're there trying to protect the animals from being traded. And there were a number of organizations that came up to our booth and to our people and were asking for advice because we're very successful in the sanctuary field. We're well funded because we know how to spend the money the way the donors want the money spent, and so that causes donors to want to give. They don't want it to go to salaries, they want it to go to great cages for the cats and rescuing cats and lifelong care and all of those kinds of things. So anyway, people always come up to us and ask us for advice, and the very first thing that any of us do usually is check them out on Facebook, check out their website, and of course all of these places are people posing with the cubs, and you're just like, oh, for goodness sake, can you not see that that makes other people want to do that too? So anytime I see that, that's the very first thing. Like when people send me a friend request and I see pictures of them posing with cats, I write them back and say, I'm sorry, I don't want any of that on my page, even in the little tiny images of you, because that's what drives all of the abuse. As long as people will pay to have their picture made with a cub, then that's what's causing these cats to be bred, used, and discarded. And the reason a lot of these people, like the one you're talking about in Mexico, the reason they pose with the cubs is because they want people to buy cubs. They say that they're doing it because they have this special bond, or that they're special, they've been trained. But fact is, their whole ego depends on them being able to bring in more cubs. And the only way they're going to do that is if more people are breeding them and using them and getting rid of them. So please, if you ever see people handling cubs, we have a great resource that you can share. It's at bigcatrescue.org/cubs. 45 in Minnesota. Holy cats, Destiny. That is cold. Laura, the F1 means it's the first generation, so it means one of the parents was an actual wild cat and the other was a domestic cat, and those are usually the most difficult because they're most like the wild cats. And as you guys are watching these tigers right now, they're running around peeing all over everything. That's what hybrid cats do. Lauren, I really appreciate that you're speaking up against LSU going out and getting another cub. And even though, it's so sad that the tiger died and he had cancer, and that's just horrible. But the way to honor him is to not get another cub. He's got a huge, I think they said 15,000 square foot enclosure. That's great. It's a nice enclosure, but it's on a school campus. And the whole purpose of having him is so they can drag him out to the games in the stadiums with all the screaming children. And that's no life for a tiger. And it sends the wrong message. I mean, it's an educational facility. I've always just been aghast at the fact that they don't get how unnatural that is for a tiger and how wrong it is to treat them like some kind of a sports trophy. Hello, Darlene from California. Well, the tigers have been fun. You guys have been fun. I have to get some work done before I leave today, so I am going to wrap this up. If you have any last questions, or if I missed any of your questions, please ask them right now. Jessica, I don't know if that was a rat or if it was a toy. My guess is that it was a rat. Hello, Erin from Toronto. Okay, well, I am going to, oh, wait a minute. Gotta do this. Goodness. Hang tight for a minute. Is she beautiful or what? Here's Miss Nikita, the lioness, having a bath. So you guys can watch these cameras anytime. Like I said earlier, there are 9 of them that are really nice, like this camera, and a whole bunch of other little cheap Nest cameras, like in our hospital and in some other places at the sanctuary. All of those are located over at bigcatrescue.org/cams. And if you want to help us with the rescue of these new cats, please donate over at bigcatrescue.org/donate. Robin, just as soon as I am cleared to give that information, I will give it to you guys, because even all of our volunteers are like on pins and needles waiting for the details. What I do know is that it's going to cost us probably, they're coming in a couple of different shipments, so just the cost of transporting across country, and it's couldn't be any more different areas that they're coming from, but anyway, it's going to run probably over $10,000 just in the shipping costs, and it's because there's so many cats. I mean, if you divide that by 12, it's not so bad, but still, it's $10,000, so it's a lot of money. So if you can help over at bigcatrescue.org/donate, that would be wonderful. Destiny, the updates is bigcatrescue.org/updates. Oh, and Kathy Sell just posted that right there in the comments, so you can just copy it right from there. Hi, Susan. You joined right at the end of this, so I am about to sign off. And Susan's texting me saying, would you get back to work? I sent you some information that needs to go out now. So I'm going to do that. Love you guys. Bye-bye.